Hello everyone! こんにちは、アシアです。Welcome to my channel. And today I have Rina with me here. It's my friend. She's from Russia and she's from the same region of Russia.
Yeah.
Chelyabinsk.
Our favorite city.
Yeah. She's living in Korea right now, but coming to Japan for some 3 months or 4 months.
Short-term study.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So she's a genius. She's a polyglot and she can speak, of course, she's from Russia, so can speak Russian and English
Yeah.
and Chinese
Yep, a
and
little
Korean and Japanese.
Yeah.
Like all the languages, Asian languages, which is super difficult. And today I want to ask her, how did she learn Japanese by herself? Sabaka. So okay, the first question, why do you speaking so many languages?
That's a good question, actually. I don't know. At first, I've never had a dream to speak many languages at once. I just started from English, like we all do when we go to the to elementary school.
Yeah.
And then I was so into the anime and Japanese music and Japanese culture, and I started watching Japanese dramas, and I had some favorite actors, and I really wanted to just.
Who's your favorite actor?
Back then, I loved Yamamoto Yusuke.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
still like him though. Yeah,
Oh.
he's a cutie. And I love
Well.
Saito Takumi. Yeah.
誰だっけ?
Yeah, he's a famous one though.
Can you tell me why can you speak English, Chinese and Korean, and after about Japanese?
After about Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, English I just learned at school, and
Same.
Korean I started learning after I started learning Japanese, maybe 1 year after, because at first I have a friend and she was also studying Japanese back then, and she told me that she learned Hangul, Korean alphabet, Hangul, and I decided, well, if she learned it, maybe I should try too. Maybe I should give it a try and see if I like it. And I learned Hangul, and I was just interested in Korean grammar. And then when I looked through the grammar, I realized that it's so similar to Japanese.
Okay.
And I was like, wow.
You was interested in Korean grammar, not in Korean pop idol. or
No,
something.
back then I listened
really?
no Korean music. Like
Oh,
for
really?
real. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I had, maybe I've seen
Super Junior.
Super Junior. No, back then I knew some Korean idols, but I was so into Japanese music, so I wasn't really interested in K-pop back then.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I was really interested in the language itself. And then after I started learning the language, I started watching Korean dramas for the first time, just because I needed to practice my language.
Okay.
My Korean skills.
How about Chinese?
Chinese? When I graduated school, I had to decide which major I should study in the university. And at first I thought maybe I would just go and study English literature or so. But then I found out that we have a major that allows you to go to study in China for 1 year. And back then I just came back from the US and I really loved it there. So I thought I would like to go study abroad again. So I just picked Chinese because back then I already spoke some Japanese and some Korean, and I thought, well, Chinese is not that different. I mean, of course it is
That
different.
looks so difficult.
I mean, yeah, I thought at least it's not like German or French, like something completely different. It's still an Asian language.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to go and study Chinese, just because I wanted to study in China for 1 year.
Tell me more about how did you study in USA?
USA? When I was in high school, there was a program between Russia and the United States. It's called FLEX program. It's not only between Russia and the US, it's also it's a American program, and students from different countries like Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Georgia, they can all come to the US and study there for 1 year for free. Yeah, and
In high school?
in high school.
I
Yeah.
also applied for this
Oh,
program
really?
before, and but I didn't pass it. So yeah, I wanted to go to USA before in high school too. But yeah, Well, anyway.
I
it
didn't
was
pass for the
possible
first
me.
time too. Only.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was my second time when I passed.
Oh,
actually.
but that's cool anyway. I remember you have a vlogs from that time, right?
Yeah, I
You
do.
live in Texas?
Kansas.
Kansas? Or
It's close to Texas.
Okay.
And I went to Texas several
Kansas.
times.
So you are possible to speak so many languages and tell us today about Japanese.
Japanese,
more. Because
yeah.
it looks so difficult to learn it by yourself. Well, me, I started to learn Japanese by myself too, and I learned hiragana and katakana writing by myself. But because of that, I'm still writing not really correctly some hiragana.
Me
And
too. Me too.
It's like ちょっと残念。なとかやとかすとかは間違ってます。
Yeah, but I think when you learn by yourself, that's probably the worst part, that you don't have a teacher who can correct the way you write. Because when it comes to grammar, you can still find so many useful videos on YouTube, or you can find Japanese friends who can correct your grammar, but you don't actually have a opportunity to write something by hand, and that's why your writing is just, I don't know, maybe it's not like 100% correct. I think it's the same with my writing too.
So
Yeah.
how did you start?
Well, like I mentioned before, I was so into anime and Japanese culture, so I wanted to understand Japanese so I could watch my favorite J-dramas without subtitles.
The same.
The same, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have to wait for the subtitles, and I could watch some interviews and whatever. So at first I wanted to go to some language school in our city, and I told my dad that
Oh, there are some language school?
I mean, language centers we had before. It's not only about Japanese, you can learn
Okay.
different languages there.
Okay,
Like
I
English,
see.
German, French, Chinese, Japanese.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And I told my dad that I want to go and study, but he thought that my Japanese hobby won't last for a long time, so he said, no, I'm not going to give you money.
How old were you at that time?
I think I was 15 or so.
Maybe the same time, yeah, when I started to learn Japanese.
Probably. So I had no other choice. I just opened the internet and I downloaded a book, and I started learning by myself. Yeah, because No, it was another one.
Okay.
It was one book in Russian, but then after I finished that book for the elementary level, I switched to Minna no Nihongo. Yeah.
It's possible to learn by yourself.
If you're passionate enough. It is.
Passion.
Yeah, I was super passionate. Yeah, passionate about that. I don't know, Japan was my dream and still is. I wanted to spend all my free time to learn Japanese. So it didn't feel like it was a chore to do. It was just my hobby time, my happy time. I don't know how to describe. Maybe it sounds weird, but that's the way it was for me. I never felt tired after studying. And the best way about studying by yourself is that you can actually decide for how many hours you're gonna study. Maybe, for example, today I want to study like the whole day long, and tomorrow I don't want to study at all, or maybe I want to study like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's okay because I'm the one who decides my time, who can manage the way I study, what I study, and when I study. If I had to study some topics that I wasn't interested in, I would just skip them. Yeah, I didn't feel any pressure
Or stress
definitely.
about it.
Yeah, for example, when you have to study something that you don't like or you feel bored about, you feel lack of the motivation.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, and in my case, I would just skip the parts I didn't like, and I would just move on and go on. So probably, of course, I had a lot of mistakes when I just started, but then I met a lot of Japanese friends on the internet, and that's what helped me.
Yeah. You told me you talk with them.
On
in
Skype.
On Skype?
Yeah, on Skype.
Yeah, me too also.
Yeah, because Skype was popular back then. Now no one uses it. Да. We would just talk to each other for like an hour, and it helped a lot. I think Skype and Twitter.
And Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
I think like the really difficult part about start to learn Japanese by yourself, it's like it's not some European language. Like you're possible to read already. It's just hiragana, katakana, kanji. When I tried to start to learn Japanese by myself, it was like I can't even read. What should I start with? I don't know. It was a mess. So that's cool if you can do it by yourself.
I mean, I just followed a book. Maybe I had a good book, that's why. So I
Maybe,
didn't
yeah.
feel lost.
Okay.
Yeah, and it helped me a lot. And then I think when I reached,
What is your level at the moment? Like
the
Nihongo no ryokushiken.
I have N2. Yeah. So
And you will try to N1?
yeah, I want to try because I tried before, but I didn't pass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
N1. So I'm gonna try next time. I'll do my best.
Yeah. Tell me more about how did you practice maybe when you came to China and now you're living in Korea. You have a lot of Japanese friends there.
Yeah,
right?
I do. Especially when I went to China, I studied in Dalian. Dalian it's the city that's located very very close to South Korea and Japan. So we have a lot of Korean and Japanese students who were studying in my university, Dalian
That's
University of Foreign Languages. So I had a lot of Korean and Japanese friends, and I had an opportunity to practice my Japanese every day. And my roommate, she was Japanese, so we would just speak Japanese
Wow,
every
that's
day.
cool.
Yeah, on a daily basis.
really
It was
cool.
really cool, and it helped me a lot. Yeah, and of course now in Korea I also have Japanese friends, and of course now in Japan I still meet with my Japanese friends. Most of them I met in China, by the way. Yeah.
So first time you came to Japan when you was 18
Yeah.
in high school.
Yeah. I think it's because I love Japanese so much. I wanted to start speaking it as fast as possible. So yeah, I wasn't scared of making mistakes or so. I was just so into the language. I would took any opportunity to learn something new. Even when I was watching Japanese dramas, I wouldn't just watch it. I would listen to what they say. And if I hear a new word, I would stop it and write it down.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
helps.
yeah.
It does help.
Just check what it means
Yes,
and
yes, yes,
try
yes.
to learn it.
Yeah, because Japanese is pretty easy to catch. Yeah, by hearing what they're
Yes,
saying.
right,
Yeah,
right.
because when it comes to Korean, for example, it's hard to catch what they're saying.
Oh really?
Yeah, because of their pronunciation, it might be a little bit tricky for the beginners, and it was tricky for me. But with Japanese, it's pretty easy. I think.
Yeah, I think so. In Japanese, grammar is not so difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty okay. But the best grammar is Chinese.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's the easiest one.
But it's hard to write. So
Yeah.
how about kanji?
I would say it might be easier for me to understand new words in Japanese because I know a lot of kanji from Chinese, but I can't write them by hand. Like I can only write the easiest ones because, of course, when I was in the university, we had to write tests in Chinese, and when I studied in China, we also had different tests, and we had to write a lot of papers in Chinese. But after I finished my studies, I don't think I ever had an opportunity to write something in Chinese by hand, and also in Japanese, because when I lived in Korea, I mean, I still do.
Yeah.
In Korea, I just use Hangul, and it's really easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
What can you recommend the people who want to start Japanese by themselves but don't really know how to? Is it possible to learn by yourself?
Well, first, find a good book, a good textbook. Second, check YouTube, because when I started learning Japanese, I don't think there was a lot of information on YouTube yet, but now there are tons of videos, really helpful videos with writing and listening and all kind of practices, and you can check your grammar, you can watch Japanese YouTubers who would explain you how the difference between the words. So yeah, and be passionate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
be passionate.
Passion is the most 大事なところ。
Yeah.
Я забыла
It
английский.
helps. I mean, it really does help. And
Motivation.
yeah. If you have enough motivation, it's possible. If you're ready to spend all your time learning the language and you're happy about it, then yeah, you can do it. If you're not happy about it, maybe it's better to learn with a teacher. Because I'm not saying that learning by myself it was like the best decision ever and everyone should do that. It was the style that suits me.
Yeah. And it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
Okay.
so for anyone, because I also heard people saying that, oh, I didn't know it was possible to learn Japanese by yourself till the N2 level.
Yeah.
So I was like, it is possible if you want. If you want and if you're ready to spend your time.
I'm still surprised about how did you learn Japanese and how is still possible to speak it, because a lot of people just they live in Japan before, but they leave Japan and they get back to their countries and just forget Japanese.
Yeah, I think I still remember Japanese because I use it pretty much every day. I either listen.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. Like for all those years, I've been using it every day. It's not that I speak it every day, but I either read something in Japanese or I listen to something in Japanese. For example, I would read Twitter or Instagram, or when I post a Insta story, I usually make a caption in Japanese too, sometimes
that's
from time
cool.
to time. And when I go to YouTube, I would watch some Japanese YouTubers. I would watch your channel.
Thank you.
Yeah, or some radio, whatever, or my favorite actors, or my favorite seiyus, interviews, whatever.
Okay, that's cool. Yes, thank you for telling us about your learning Japanese. It was interesting, and your English is so good. And I think it's easy to understand.
Really? Thank you, because my pronunciation is bad.
Yeah,
But still.
mine. You went to USA for 1 year, so
Yeah, but it was 10
be
years
confident.
ago.
It was 10 years ago.
It
wow.
was, but still.
I never been in English-speaking country.
Oh, really? You should go. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching video. See you.
Yeah.